He's a big costume. He's great. He's a crowd pleaser. If you want to go ahead and make one of these yourself, feel free to use my patterns. I would just like to see what you guys make. That's why I do this, and I hope you guys have a great day. And Sully, his head is mostly EVA foam, which is just the puzzle mat foam that you can get from pretty much anywhere. It's the stuff that you put underneath your treadmill. And the pattern is in the Sully pattern that is provided for you. You might have to make a few adjustments to make sure that it's going to fit on the head right, cut some pieces out, but I'd say that 90% if you follow that pattern will be exactly what you want it to be. When it came to the head, I knew that I wanted to be able to get in and out of this thing by myself, because if I'm stuck in here and I don't have anybody around me, I didn't want to panic because I couldn't breathe or do something like that. So his whole head just connects up top. Up here, I just did what was the most simple and useful way to do this. I just hung the entire head from one big clasp. That way I could take it on and off myself whenever I needed to. Inside of his head, EVA foam. I put a little fan in there, just a really simple computer fan hooked to a 9-volt battery. His teeth are just simple EVA foam. I just used some Dremel tool to cut it out, and then I used Plastidip to paint them the right color. And his eyes, or sorry, his horns, I just found some horns that Beast from Beauty and the Beast had, and I made my own, but I just used that as the pattern to create the ones that I wanted to, painted them up that way. I knew that the eyes were something that were going to make him either living or dying, and a dead looking costume is really scary when they're just that 1,000-mile stare, and I tried to make him as lifelike as possible. So I'm gonna put this head back on. I'll show you how I made that. Online, I ordered some 4-inch clear plastic globes, and what I did is I cut out a round piece of EVA foam, and all I had to do is paint it white and then use a Sharpie to color the actual details of the eyes. Here's a couple shots of the details of the eyes. And then take the flat piece, shove it in there like that, and you get a nice little concave, and you really get a natural looking eye with some three-dimensional look to it. Then it came time to make the whole thing blue. So I went on fabric.com and ordered 9 yards of Shannon Fabric Gorilla Pile fur, if you care to know. It's about a 4-inch long pile, and what that does is it covers up any sin or anything that I did wrong with the whole thing, and gives him that big shagginess that he looks like. A lot of people, when I was wearing them, came up and just gave him a hug and said, "Oh my gosh, he's so soft." If you guys have any questions or anything like that, just shoot me a comment, ask me a question or anything like that, or jump onto my Instructable, which will have a better how to do this thing step by step. And I'd love to see your Sully costume if you've made one, or if this inspires you to make one of these yourself.